Welcome to this short introduction video on the capabilities and value of Harness Cloud Cost Management. We're sitting here on the overview screen. If we look bottom left, we can see the cost by cloud providers. So we're looking at spend coming in here from GCP, Azure, and AWS. Top left, we've got our cost over the last 30 days, where it's trending, and also our forecast for the next time period selected, the next 30 days. In between those, we've got an analysis of our containerized spend, whether or not this is Kubernetes or ECS, giving us an efficiency score, which is based on how much of that spend we're really utilizing, CPU, memory, storage, how much of it is idle, which would indicate where developers have oversized their deployments of workloads, and then how much is unallocated, which would indicate that the clusters that we have defined are oversized for the workloads that we're actually deploying to them. Moving to the right-hand side, we do have carbon emission information throughout the product to help you with your environmental goals. We've got a brief chart showing the spend between cloud and cluster. And then bottom right, we've got recommendations. So let's move into looking at data, like the inform, the visibility, the showback capabilities of the product. Here we're looking at the spend that's owned or encompassed by the data science team. They can see summary information at the top, what their total cost is, how it's trending. They could have one or more budgets set, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, with alerting based on actual spend and forecasted spend. And they can also have a quick view into their recommendations that could help them reduce their spend. If we look at the graph below, we can see that we're currently grouping this by product. We could change that grouping if we wanted to. We could drill into these various aspects as well just by clicking on the bars. And we also have an additional add filter capability at the top where we can get into things like utilizing any tagging or labeling that's in your environment as part of this filter, as well as grouping by those as well. Now you may be wondering what the red triangle is. That's an indicator that Harness has identified an anomaly within this spend. For example, if we look at this spike on October the 16th and apply our filters, it's going to tell us that within this particular GitOps Play GCP project and our cloud logging, we've had a spike. This email was actually sent over to the team that owns that project, the data science team. They went ahead and researched this, figured out what was causing this excessive logging, and obviously removed it, thus saving this $280 charge for the remainder of the month. Talking about recommendations and how we can help you reduce your spend, let's have a quick look at an example of a Kubernetes recommendation. So in this example, we have a cluster, the K8 CI demo. This is one of their node pools, pooled 4. We can see the current configuration on the left-hand side. We have our recommended configuration that's based on the real-world needs of this cluster. Harness looks at what the high watermark was for the CPU and the RAM, and it comes up with a reconfigured recommendation. So instead of 4 nodes, each containing 8 CPUs and 32 gig, it's recommending that we could go with 2 nodes of 8 and 30, and we could still encompass the resource needs that we've seen in the last 7 days. You could expand this to be the last 30 days to get additional data if you wanted to. This could potentially update the recommendation. But we can see in this instance that if we onboard this recommendation, reconfigure this node pool group, we're going to be saving about $6,000 a year. Another optimized capability of Harness is where we're doing auto-stopping. Auto-stopping is the concept of shutting down resources when they're not being used. For example, we've got an EC2 instance here that's not used all the time. In fact, it was not used at all over the weekend that just occurred. So the last activity was 4 days ago. Harness has a technique whereby if someone tries to access this resource, we'll recognize it and we'll actually restart this resource automatically. We can see the savings that have occurred. And in fact, the graph at the top shows an environment where the purple is the actual spend. The green is when we're saving money because we're auto-stopping these resources and not running them when they're not being used. Lastly, let's talk about dashboards. Harness provides a full suite of dashboards. We have dashboard capability built into the product. We provide you with the cost views. For example, we're looking at the GCP cost dashboard here. We have dashboards available for other aspects of your spend and cloud environment. For example, we have an AWS inventory cost dashboard here, where I could perhaps look for specific items of inventory where the maximum CPU has never got above 25%. Thank you for your time in watching this video. Please reach out to Harness at harness.io if you'd like any more information or would like to start a free trial.